Hi, I'm Mike Riley, and today I want to be showing you how to wrap hands legally for the commission. A lot of commissions across the country have actually taken their rules for hand wrapping directly from boxing. This is a huge mistake that actually endangers the fighter. Unlike boxing gloves, MMA gloves fit individually over each finger and fit much tighter on the hand. Therefore, we need to have a very different type of hand wrap to protect the fighter's hand from injury. What we're going to use to create our hand wrap is gauze 2 inches wide, up to 13 yards of it, and regular athletic tape 1 inch wide, and we can use up to 10 feet of that. How I start off is I create a bundle of gauze that's going to protect the back of the knuckle. I actually wrap this around my own hand 12 times and then it will get doubled over. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place my bundle over the back of my fighter's knuckles here, so the knuckles are just covered, and then I'm going to take my gauze and I'm going to anchor it over his thumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the gauze here to hold that bundle in place here. Give it a nice strap over there. And we'll zoom in nice and tight on this. We'll see now I'm going to fold this gauze over the hand, and again wrap it nice and tight with the gauze. This is going to give him a nice buildup on the back of his knuckles that's going to help protect his knuckles from being broken during the fight. Now I'm just going to continue to gauze up his hand, and we're going to come down and we're going to start wrapping the wrist here. The wrist is another point, another very strong injury point, and we want to make sure that that is really well protected. And now what I'll do is we'll just kind of continue to gauze both, making an X on the back of the hand, so we'll cover the knuckles and protect the wrist. With his hand this way, what we want to do is we're going to flip that over, and we're going to take all this extra gauze that's in his hand, and it's going to create a bar which is also going to help protect his hand. Now, some commissions will allow you to put tape through the hand, but some commissions do not allow tape directly on the knuckle. And so what I'm going to use is strips of gauze. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the strips of gauze and I'm going to run them through here, and I'm going to tie this off. There you go. And as he flips his hand over, I'll run this gauze through the back of his hand. I'm going to repeat this process 3 times. Alright, now with our 3 straps tied on here, he's going to flip his hand back over, and we're going to bring the hand back down, and we're going to use our first piece of tape. And we're going to strap those down nice and tight and then tape over it. Now as he flips his hand over, I want you to take a nice careful look at the inside of this hand here. You can see how the bar is created by how we've tied this off. Now what I'm going to do is a little bit of cleanup. Unlike a boxing wrap where I would actually want to wrap the thumb and the wrist more, here I need to remove all the gauze from the palm and from the thumb. I really want there to be nothing but exposed palm when we get done wrapping. The first thing I'm going to wrap with tape, and this is where the most controversy comes in, is I'm going to cover the knuckles of the hand. The reason why I do this, and many rules only allow you to start taping back on this part of the hand. However, what I have found is that if you leave exposed gauze, it can get bunched up under the individual fingers of the gloves and create an uneven protection on the back of the hand. This can actually create stress points which could cause more injuries to the fighter. The argument is the fear that we will build a cast on the hand. This is rather silly since 2 straps of tape does not a cast make. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to have my fighter make a nice tight fist, and I am going to go on the knuckles and push it back. And I'll do 1 like that, and then 2. While we're at it, the rules state that I can use 10 feet of tape. However, On a heavyweight fighter, 10 feet of tape barely covers the minimum and barely allows me to give them much support in their wrist. However, for a lightweight fighter, it is far too much tape. What the commissions are going to need to do is get uniform and smart about how they're writing the rules and not make it a length of tape but an amount of layers that can cover the back of a fighter's hand. And so now what I'm going to do to complete the process, Shane is going to make a nice tight fist for me, and I'm going to come back and cover right here. This is actually where my first strip of tape would go if we were taping, say, for Nevada or other states that have such rules. And I'm going to start laying tape thus. We have a layer of tape on the back of his hand. I'm going to create strips coming down from his knuckles to his wrist. Essentially what this is going to do is it's going to help support the entire structure of the wrap and help protect his hands. Remember, what we're most looking for is to give protection to the small bones in his hands, particularly a fracture that could occur right here, known as a boxer's fracture. Now we're going to zoom in really close here and look at the finished wrap. You'll see that I can push in on the fighter's wrap when he's making a fist. This tells me I've given him a good amount of support and padding in here. When he makes a tight fist and I hit hard, I can feel that this is packed in nicely, but it's in no way, shape, or form, as you can see by the squishy nature of it, created a cast. It has, however, protected all the gauze and won't bunch up when we fit him into his fight glove. Now as we put the glove on, you can see how tight of a fit this is going to be and why it was so important that we made sure that the gauze was uniformly covered so that it wouldn't become bunched under the glove. Now with the glove on, you can see that we really pretty much only have bare skin. You can just see the edge of the gauze running around. We take the glove over and strap it on nice and tight. And now here we have a well-protected, well-wrapped glove for mixed martial arts. I really implore the commissioners around the country to take a look at this type of hand wrap and write their rules accordingly, as opposed to just using the rules that were written specifically for boxing.